All right, so how about those Los Angeles Chargers? Very interesting stuff, I think. Chargers are good. Chargers are definitely a good football team. They're 3-1. And to me, I definitely could talk about Justin Herbert and the Chargers offense and all of that stuff. But I think the more interesting story is this Chargers defense and how it really neutralized a very good offense. I don't actually feel horrible about the Raiders offense after this week, although definitely it wasn't its best performance. But I do definitely, without a doubt, feel very good about the Chargers defense. And I want to get into sort of the X's and O's of how all of this stuff went down. So that's mostly what this video is going to be about, is just sort of the chess match between John Gruden and Brandon Staley. So let's just get into it. So we'll start off with this play. This is a lot of what was going wrong early on for the Raiders. So the way that the Brandon Staley defense works is they like to play with two safeties deep, typically either in what you call cover 2 or cover 4. If one safety is further deep, as in one extra safety, so you typically have one deep, but if you have the second one deep, this now means that you can't have him in the box, which means it's a lot easier to run with the football. As you see on the screen, you have enough guys to block everybody other than the two safeties, which are far away. Although you also notice on the screen, there's a double team right here. This is not intentional. Someone screwed up their assignment, it appears. As you see, when Carr tries to hand this off, it's actually going to be that player who helps make a tackle, along with not a big lane getting opened up anyways. So running game just not working. And that's a big way you want to attack this Brandon Staley defense, is with the running game, which they now weren't able to do. So that really hurt things, especially early on. So then let's talk the passing game. One issue is that there were multiple drives where, there was one that was, on that play I just showed you, a couple of runs to set up a 3rd down and 7. They do not end up picking up the first down. That just kind of makes things more difficult. Another one, there were 3 straight runs, no first down, no punt. So now you're, making things difficult on Derek Carr. Derek Carr basically had 2 possessions where he didn't have much of a chance to get a first down right there. That's tough because he's clearly your best player. Of course, I understand the logic, but that's just when the running game wasn't working against this coverage, it's really difficult to have success. So in the passing game, you can try stuff like this. It's quarters coverage, and you have Renfrow running a route that should sort of get into a gap in coverage right here. You also have a play action. It's kind of a play action, which will hopefully move linebackers further in, and it's going to do that. But when Carr takes the snap, watch how Asante Samuel Jr. is going to rush in and knock the ball away. So that's kind of the issue, right? That's a great play to beat this type of coverage on paper. The issue is just that the Chargers have players who can successfully come down and make plays. So that's the dilemma here. So now let's move over to this play. So this is a lot of what they were able to do to get back at it, in the third quarter, was some stuff like this, which is a little bit simpler. It's similar to kind of the last play, but just a little bit different, is they ran more setup routes, right? More stuff where you're having 3 players run a route to get one guy open, right? Which you kind of have to do against zone coverage a lot of times, and I think it's smart. This is what Sean Payton does a lot, and, Gruden doing the right thing here. The way this works is, I believe this is cover 3. It could be a cover 4 or a cover 2. It's hard to see exactly, but the main point is that with multiple receivers kind of starting off all the way to the right but running over the middle, this should clear up some room for Hunter Renfrow to run underneath and pick up some yards. It's not a chunk play, but that's kind of their logic, is we're just going to take these, smaller plays. They got a couple chunk plays, talk about that in a second, but for a large part, what they were able to do on those back-to-back touchdown drives was little stuff like this. As you see, this is going to get wide open in the flat. Not for long, player comes in, doesn't make the tackle, Renfrow picks up the first down, so that stuff all nice and good. But, that's what they were able to do. Just, it's difficult, it's not easy to do, but hey, Derek Carr is very good. He could make this kind of stuff happen. And you also had something like this, where what's going to happen on this play is this is one of those chunk plays. They had a couple of these, and this is actually something right out of the Cliff Kingsbury book. In fact, this is what Kingsbury did to the Los Angeles Rams, which, of course, they run the same scheme, as that's where Brandon Staley got hired from, and they continuously run that cover 4 Staley scheme. So I actually wonder a little bit if John Gruden saw that and implemented a couple plays last minute to do something like that. Or maybe it's just a coincidence, I don't know. But either way, it makes sense. The way it works is Renfro's getting a lot of attention. Have him run a deeper route, but kind of run over the middle. And this is hopefully going to get the safety, who is deep but to the right, to focus on him. Now Ruggs is running on the sideline. You can get a one-on-one matchup. It makes a lot of sense. Still a little bit difficult, but it can work. And so watch how, when Carr takes the snap, he's going to fire this one deep and even use his eyes to look the safety off, which that was a necessary component of that play. Get the safety out of position. And actually, it's not going to be an incredible throw from Carr. The other one that they completed was a great throw from Carr. This one, not as much. Watch, underthrown, but you still get the penalty. Carr kind of uncharacteristically missed a couple deep throws in this one. He had that one, late in the fourth quarter as well, although that one, he was on the move, a little bit more understandable. But yeah, as a whole, I mean, the point is that these plays worked, and it was good play design from John Gruden. So yeah. I mean, yeah, basically, I did think Gruden did some good things in this one. I thought that, the deeper stuff, that's something that we hadn't seen a lot of, that teams try to attack. A quarters coverage by going deep, because that seems counterintuitive, but there's actually some real logic behind it. And as you saw in the film study, I think you can kind of understand it a little bit better. So that I actually kind of like. I think that was smart. I do think that as a whole, it's just a difficult situation to call a game when the running game isn't getting stuff going, and you want to run the ball against quarters coverage, and especially when you now have to pass the ball, you're down 14. Like that interception at the end that Carr threw, that was just, Carr had to make sort of an anticipatory throw. It's technically on him, but it's him trying to make something happen down late. And it's something that if it's in the first quarter, I crush him for, but at that point, I kind of do understand it actually. So as a whole, this is what the Brandon Staley defense does to teams. Is it can absolutely suffocate you. It forces you to do things you don't want to have to do. It forces you into 12-play drives, and even a team that's good at it, like the Raiders are, just weren't quite able to get it done there. I also thought the Raiders could have gone for it on like a 4th down and 3. That was maybe a thing they probably should have done. But, there was some good stuff definitely for Brandon Staley. And I thought that, being able to take away a lot of these quick routes really helped them a lot. But the reality is, we saw when Carr's first read wasn't really open, which happened a good amount, then pressure could come, that on that 3rd down that they, eventually would kick a field goal and miss it. You saw that play where basically Renfro was covered. They said on the broadcast it was he was double covered. I wasn't sure if that was intentional or just the way the layout worked. It looked to me like it was just the way the layout worked. But regardless, he can't get open. Carr kind of panics, doesn't know what to do right away, and gets sacked. So it all blends together, and just an incredible defensive performance from the Chargers all across the board. Raiders defense played good too, but it just wasn't quite enough. That's what I thought. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.